floodlight, from the lane to the world, we stand shoulder to shoulder. Raise your scarves high in the Spurs Corner. Oh, Tottenham Hotspur, North London is ours. North London will always be ours. In 17 Tottenham, home of the Spurs, White Hart Lane, home of the Spurs. Do you know what we are? Let me tell you what we are. Champions of Europe, that's what we are. Let me sing it again. We won it in Bilbao. Won it in Bilbao. Champions of Europe, that's what we are. Spurs Corner, top till I die. Spurs Corner, top till I die. Spurs Corner, top till I die.
Welcome to Spurs Corner after an amazing result against Liverpool. Welcome everyone. Obviously, this is it's been quite a roller coaster of a couple of hours watching Spurs and going live straight after. But we're here. Iggy, how are you feeling?
Mate, I'm going to bring my son on stage. There you go. Panny's here as well with us.
Big up, Penny.
Mate, hang on, let me just, yeah. I don't know where to start, man. First of all, let's start with the absolute positive. We managed to get a point at last, a very valuable point at Anfield, a place where we never get anything.
Yeah.
So the positive, absolutely, we got a point, and it's a massive point. If you give the fact that there were other draws as well, like West Ham drew, Forest, I believe, draw, didn't they? Forest drew as well. So us getting a point, so with one game less, we lived another week, and now the Forest game becomes absolutely massive.
Absolutely
Huge. But do you know what I like today? And we'll get right. We'll manage to we'll manage to you know, speak of the match in so forth. But you know what? We went there with something. You know, we went there with not defeated, Maz. The first time I've seen a team not defeated, even after we went 1-0 down.
Yeah.
They kept going. Yeah, of course, you can see that we're struggling.
Yeah.
But I have to say, to balance it out a little bit, Liverpool was shocking. Like Liverpool were really poor today. That was a very poor Liverpool side.
I mean, they had chances, didn't they? They did have.
But
chances.
we did too, though. To be fair, man,
Yeah,
we had a few chances ourselves. That was, you know, that was a team filled with a lot of substitutes, squad players. I mean, their mind is obviously overturning that Galatasaray game in the Champions League. So we come at them at a really good time. Maybe they thought that with the team that they put out there, it would be enough to dispatch us. Why wouldn't they, given what our performances last few weeks? But look, we have to say that overall, we're much better. 4-4-2. It's been stripped down to, you know, real basic stuff. And I was really worried after we were 1-0 down, but we managed to still stay in the game and capitalize on the opportunity right at the end via the one that always punishes them every game. I was a bit worried when he celebrated his goal because, like, you know, what always happens after Richardson celebrates,
VAR,
red and loose. But I'm glad we I was fearing the worst. We all were. Everybody was fearing the worst. And absolutely,
I mean,
don't know what you guys.
you heard it from all the score projections from all of the community around there. We all thought we'll get him pumped. So look, let's bring Panny, and you're probably gonna have to mute
We got a
yourself,
young
Iggy.
Spurs member. You know, this is a. Let me just to give you a little bit of background. This is in. Put the volume out. But he's sitting right next to me. We didn't want to know that with a share screen. But he's became a Spurs fan under the era of the Pochettino era. That's when he was really started getting into football. So he was really sucked in at a point where Spurs were flying. And how are you enjoying your season,
boy,
mate?
Panny. Hey, you see.
Volume.
Well, I was going to say, Panny, the poor boy. What has your dad done to you?
he's wrote me in.
Yeah, right. Like Panny, right. Let's start off with you, okay? Because we do have. I want to structure the show a little bit. What did you make of the formation, Panny? Tell me what did you make of it? Obviously, we've not got a lot of players available, but what did you make of the formation, where he put the players and everything today?
Me personally, I was happy he just went with the 4 at the back because you could see the 3 wasn't working, and then like he went 4-4-2. He went back to basic. Richardson, Solanke up front, hold it up. It was a game. We had a game plan to just frustrate them, and it worked. So from that point, I was happy. I was a bit surprised he put Sousa right wing, but it was to complement everyone. But I was just happy he went back to a 4 at the back. Just kept it simple. Didn't overcomplicate anything. Just basics, because that's what we need. Because we need the points.
And what did you make of like? Obviously, Sousa's new to the Premier League and new to Spurs. What did you make of like his overall play in that first and second half?
I thought it was alright. I thought he done what he needed to do. He didn't really like offensively. Obviously, he couldn't really give much, but I don't even think he wasn't really there for that. He was more there to try and help Porro, because we saw once Sousa got taken off, even before he got taken off, Porro was getting murdered on our right side. But he had a good shot in the first half, which was quite promising, but he was alright. I just think maybe, obviously hindsight, you could have put him left back, Spence right back, because Porro was poor, but he played well enough to help us.
Yeah, that's again. What do you make of the starting lineup and stuff?
Well, at first I thought we were playing with 3 at the back, man. But at first, everyone in Sofa score. We're giving it like we were playing with Porro, Dragusin, and Danso with Spence and Sousa wing backs. I was worried because I said, do you remember as soon as we saw it, I said, why? It's so telling that that's a back 4 right there. Just play a back 4. We don't force to play back 3. I mean, I went by what was shown online as soon as the teams were announced. When I did see at the beginning of the game that it was a back 4, I was relieved. The first thing I thought was relief. Okay, he's playing the 2 centre backs there. He's playing the full backs there. I was happy with Spence and Porro full backs, although Porro had a torrid time against the kid today, man. So I was happy with the back 4. It did. I was surprised a little bit bigger, Mark. I was surprised a little bit with Sousa at right wing, but you know what? When you look at the bench and what we had coming on, even with the 3 boys that came on, we had 2 goalkeepers there and another kid. We were stripped to a bare minimum today. We really had to. Maybe that was the thinking from Tudor, to have a few players coming on like Moane, like Xavi Simons. So maybe he wanted to have something back for the last half hour. And it kind of worked really, because they did make a difference with the movement, which ultimately led to a goal. So I was happy in that sense. But listen, any team we put out there today, I was always going to be worried. It didn't matter what it was.
Yeah.
I was just glad though that finally he went with a back 4 and really put it down to base. He stripped it to basic, like a 4-4-2.
Yeah.
I don't know what you thought about it, man.
Yeah, part of me, it didn't look like a 4-4-2 to me in parts of the game. Like in certain passages of play, I kept seeing Porro tuck in next to Danzo and Dragusin. So I was thinking, okay, did he put Sousa on the right because he's using Spence and Sousa as like almost like the wing backs? But then I saw Sousa floating around a lot in certain parts of the picture. So I found like the tactics and the formation a little bit strange. Sometimes it looked like a 4-4-2, but then other times it didn't. So I did find the tactics a little bit confusing on that front.
I thought
But
Tell had a bit more room to move about as well. He wasn't like stuck on a wing. He was roaming about a little bit.
I was concerned, certainly when we went a goal down as well. I was concerned once Liverpool started getting a foothold in that first half that add Mari to the stage, that why he didn't just do like a solid back four that we could recognize, right? So it would be Porro, Dragusin, Danzo, Spence, and then literally play like a five across the midfield. So I would have played Xavi from the outset. And we'll go on to the second half, but I was surprised that Xavi wasn't playing because he's our only creative linking the from the midfield to the attack or from the defense to the attack portion of the game, and he wasn't playing. But I would have loved to seen, as an example, the five across the midfield being something like Tell on the right, Richardson on the left, and then you had Sarr, Gray, Xavi in the middle. And then obviously they all sit in compact and really, really pack out the center of the midfield like we were doing, to be fair to them, for most of the game. And then Xavi can be that link that gets the counter attacks going, whether it's Richarlison or Tell bombing forward, etc. against Solanke. But that he didn't really do that. In parts of it looked like a like Panny said, a 4-4-2 that sort of morphed into a 3-5-2. And there was a huge gap in our midfield where we just couldn't progress the ball forward. Certainly in the first half, that's what I felt.
Yeah, the midfield, he's still going with Gray and Sarr, isn't he? So he's obviously seen something. But also, there wasn't really a lot of options. There was only two centre midfielders available. No Bissouma today, no Gallagher. So he really had to go with them two there. What I did find though, with the playing two up front, that where a lot of teams that play Liverpool play with the one up front, and they sort of know how to deal with that. And I thought they struggled with dealing with the two players up front with Richarlison and Solanke. Solanke's a very physical guy, and Richarlison, he could be an absolute nuisance. So I thought playing with two up top was beneficial for us because we were able to every now and again, as an outlet ball over the top, to try and get them. And I thought they had a lot of joy. The two playing with two up there had a lot of joy, and Liverpool couldn't deal with that. They're not used to dealing with two players up top, and that favoured us for the move, for all the things that you just said. So maybe that was the thinking, because I don't know about you, Van Dijk doesn't quite seem the same. And I thought, people were like, Panny was shouting penalty for that one against him and Van Dijk and Richarlison on that one. I was a bit, I don't know, I think he used his body well there, but it's the 50-50 on that one. But no, I thought it benefited us playing with two up front. They're big boys, strong. They put themselves about, and sometimes you know what, if you can just make the ball stick out there, and if then we can kind of go with the second balls from them. So. Listen, it had an advantage. It was very, very, very daring to do that because we didn't know what team Liverpool were going to put out there. We had knew that they might have had an eye on the Galatasaray game, but not, but they also needed points to make Champions League football. So we never quite knew. And I just thought the longer we stayed in the game, I just thought we give ourselves at least a chance. And we didn't make the usual mistakes that we normally do that concedes chances for goals. I think we're a little bit better in that front. And we gave the opportunities that they created rather than ones that we gave away. So it was very good to play at least, getting past the 45, 55, 60 minutes without having conceded a lot of numerous chances, certainly not ones created by ourselves for them. And by staying in the game, we gave belief to the team that, actually, do you know what? There might be some in here. I felt that as the game went on. I didn't feel it in the first half, but within the last
Yeah.
15 minutes, I felt like we can go and get some in.
Well, let me bring in Mari. Mari, hello,
Hey,
mate.
brother.
You right? Yeah.
Yep.
What we kicked off right by I was asking Panny and Iggy what they made of the formation and the players. Were you happy with? We know we haven't got that many players available. Were you happy with the way that Igor structured the team overall?
Yes and no. Because I was, as we posted WhatsApp, and I was kind of like weirded out by what formation that he was going to play. But then I thought about it. I'm like, man, we're missing everybody. I mean, we don't have a lot of players. We don't have Romero. We don't have Polina, Gallagher. I mean, so it's like, no matter the formation, I want to see a team that was fighting, to not be regulated. And so today, I saw it, but also too, and I know Iggy, your other son is a Liverpool fan, but he has to be really disappointed. Salah, I think it's time for him to go to the Middle East because there were some chances on some
Mate,
counters.
he's been swearing for the last 20 minutes. I'm having to put my voice, my mic off just so you guys can't hear the swear. He went upstairs. He's angry and that, but we're laughing.
Liverpool at times look like Spurs on the counter, like, and they have, Ikatike, Salah, I mean, they got like quality players, and on their attack, I mean, they could have punished us, but it was basically Spurs versus Spurs today. And if I'm a Liverpool fan, I'm kind of pissed off because this should have been 3 points in the bag, but we fought despite the formation. And they gave us a chance. And
Well,
I know
Mari, what did you make of Sousa being out on the right today? Because he wasn't strictly on the right wing, was he? He was floating about a little bit, so that confused me in terms of like the way we were transitioning from defense to attack.
I looked at him in the sense of, to be honest with you, he's getting tread on his tires. He's getting game time. So I thought that was valuable because we're going to need him. I don't know if Udogi's coming back anytime soon. So and it's the same thing with Gray. Like, this is a good. I mean, who's missing out is Bergvall. I think he comes back for the Forest game, but Bergvall, see some good things, you see some bad things, but he's getting tread on the tires. This is actually it, it's good that Gray's getting these minutes. Yes, he put too much on that pass for Richardson. I mean, Richardson could have scored earlier on in the second half. I'm going to talk about the second half, but at least he gets those chances to make those mistakes so he can improve. So I'm trying to find the positives, and the ultimate positives, we got a point. It's Anfield, we got a point. I don't care how we stole it. It's a grab 'em masterclass, like so.
Panny,
I mean,
let me come to Panny because I want to get him in here because obviously he's a happy boy that we got that we got a point. But Panny, that first half, we had a good, I would say, 5-10 minute spell where we were attacking. Then Liverpool got hold of the game a bit more and they had their chances. What out of our forward lineup, what stood out to you? Because we did actually have a few chances to score a couple of goals, mainly Richardson. But what did you make of how we attacked in the first half?
I thought Tell looked really bright today. He was trying to take on players. He was trying to do things. He was working really hard. And then like Solanke and Richarlison, I thought in the first, I think they done it better a little bit in the second half. But in the first half, they were holding the ball. They were holding the ball quite a bit, trying to bring people into the game. Yeah, but I think Tell made a big difference because it was just someone. Because obviously, when you look at Sousa, Solanke, Richarlison, like they're not really. You don't look at them, the guys like, oh, they can take on a man, they can beat a man. But Tell was like our only outlet. And I thought in the first half, him and Szoboszlai were having a really good battle. I thought he was putting in some good balls in the box. In the first half, Richarlison, he should have at least hit the target. But that was a good ball. I think our left side was quite strong as well, especially with Spence. He was doing well with Frimpong, and then he was also getting forward a little bit. So I think our left side helped us a lot today. And in that first half, even though we did look a bit shaky, we were still creating quite a few chances. And I think we should have scored in the Richarlison could have put them away, and even the Sousa. We could have come away with something like got a goal in the first half.
Yeah.
Just because like the way we were playing, it was just we looked dangerous every time we were attacking, if that makes sense.
Is it and Iggy, you can come in here if you want as well. Is it Panny that we look dangerous, or is it that Liverpool will look shaky compared to what they're normally like?
If I'm honest, I think that is what they're normally like. Like Liverpool this season, they haven't been good. And when you look at the fixture like Liverpool, you're like, oh, it's like this is just gonna be a loss. But then like if you actually look at Liverpool, they lose to Wolves, draw to Burnley, you're like can get some. And when you saw like the first 15, 20, even though they scored, it was quite I'd say it was quite an even game. Like even though they were like controlling possession, we had a lot of chances as well. So I felt like even though Liverpool were bad, I think we still had to do our job.
Yeah.
Because they can play bad, but if we don't score, then we don't get the point.
You see, I felt, Panny, in that first half that we just had no midfield. Now, it might be because Tudor was just making them sit so deep, like 2 banks or 4, try and break us down type tactics, that attitude, right? And when we were going forward, sometimes we struggled to pass it out from the back and find that midfielder to then start off the play, like a Xavi would do or like a Maddison would do. But you're right. Overall, when you look at Tell was actually quite a good outlet today, wasn't he? He had the legs. My concern with Tell, though, was that he had the legs and he caused them problems in the sense that he was willing to put the yards in and run. But that last bit of quality when you need him to put a cross in or dribble around the player or do a cute pass, I think today really let him down, but you can't fault him for never giving up. And that's that is one thing you can't take away from Tell, is that he doesn't really give up. He always tries. He always thinks that he can do something, which is good to have self-belief, isn't it? Even if you're not a good player, that you can do
and it's
something.
just like in this team, you look around, you're like, we need players who actually care for the team and want to work hard and try. Because you look around the team, you have players that don't really care, like they're late, like they don't care for the club. So it's good to see the players like who actually care and want to drive at players and do stuff, because that's what we need. Because we're lacking in that department. So it was just refreshing to and hopefully we'll be able to let him see him play more.
Yeah. Iggy, what did you make of let's bring in Joe. There he is.
Yeah, I sent him the link. I wasn't sure if he was going to come on, but here he is.
He's turned up. Joe, how did you feel about the formation in the first half and the tactics?
From which team? Which team?
Well, I tell you what, you could talk about Spurs for the start of it, because obviously, you're outnumbered, aren't you, in the Iggy household, right? Talk to me about Spurs, and then you can talk about Liverpool.
I think with Spurs, for me, it's still. Honestly, I'm no words at the moment. I can't believe what I've just watched. I can't. We've witnessed the team get battered for 3 months straight. The blueprint on beating Spurs is so evident. And somehow, Mr. Arne Slot manages to completely balls it up somehow. I don't know.
But you had possession, though,
Joe.
right? You had chances.
Oh,
Joe.
we had possessions, we had chances. That is fantastic. But
Joe, I don't want to
can you
offend
explain-
you. Joe, I don't want to offend you, but you guys were Spurs today. I couldn't believe it. You guys
We were
wasted.
Spurs. We were worse than Spurs.
You guys were Spurs, and Salah, take the money and run. Middle East, send them to the Middle East, send them to Saudi Arabia, man. It's yeah. You guys were Spurs.
Before Mo Salah, he deserves to take the money and run. Arne Slot needs to go to prison. He needs to go to jail. He needs to go.
So what was your view of Liverpool's like player selection and tactics in the first half today, Joe? What went right and what went wrong for you guys? You obviously scored the goal, right? You went 1-0 up.
Yeah, because Vicario was feeling charitable. But Vicario basically scored for us. Any half decent keeper saves that free kick.
That's what I said. Your dad, he stayed very quiet in the chat when I said Vicario should have done better.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
We're always going to back the Italians, but
it's not nothing to do with the fact that he's Italian or not. He should have made it his football. At the end of the day, we've got a goalkeeper here who does it. And we'll ask his opinion on that one there. But he said it there, you know, even on the TV, they said it. His football was all his foot. If his work had been right, he should have at the very least got a hand and scooped it out. There's no way he should be conceded on that. But you know what? And that's the one thing, but we've criticised him for his corners and not coming out. But one thing he's always been good at is shot stopping, and that's the thing. Today I was let down. I felt let down by him because that's his armor. That's his strong part of his game is the shot stopping. He didn't make that, and that's just like that's just sums up not just his season, our season as a team. Full stop. He's not been anywhere near the levels. We know that, and I still believe, and I'm probably one of the minority that, but still believes he's a better goalkeeper than that because he has shown us that he's a better goalkeeper than that. You know, we know his weaknesses through corners and crosses and stuff like that, but he has always been very reliable. In shot stopping, so today was a little bit kick in the teeth. I don't know what you made of that.
I thought, to be honest, and I'm glad that the commentary team in the half time that I was watching picked it out. He moved more over to his left, right, where the wall was, right, thinking okay, that side of the wall's covered, but then and the commentary pointed this out. And I saw it as well, is that those three Liverpool players that also moved, he should have thought, right, okay, they've moved, let me centralise myself a little bit. So if it does go over the top, I've got time to get to the other side. But he saw it late, and he was a yard or two over to his left, and he didn't have time to get over. And I just thought it was poor positioning, Iggy. I think a keeper of his experience should know where to place himself, and he should be, have better reactions. He should be looking through the wall, looking through the player's feet to see, like that start of that shot, so he can react quickly and come in. So I don't know, guys. What do you think of that? I don't think I'm being harsh in that. I mean, Joe said any other keeper would have saved it.
100%
today.
100%.
I think yeah. It's not even the positioning. If you look at his first step, he nearly tripped. The first two steps, he nearly tripped himself up. So when you make that first step, it wasn't a big step. It wasn't a normal step. It's kind of like he's sprinting towards the ball. And then when you do that, and then the second step, his right foot clicked his left foot, which meant he was nearly tripping up. So then when he went to make the step before the dive, he's diving backwards. And when you dive backwards, it only means one thing. The ball's just going to, even if you hit the ball, it's going to go in the goal.
Yeah.
I think it wasn't even his positioning, because his positioning was good enough to save the shot.
Yeah.
It was the footwork. And I think for me, it just comes down to the confidence. His confidence is so low that Even when you see him on the ball and everything, he's just confident. His confidence is shot. And when your confidence is shot, you just like everything you do, you second guess it. So when he's doing his position, when he's setting up the wall, when you're taking the steps, you're double guessing it in your head. You're thinking, is it what I'm doing is right? And then that's when you make more mistakes. So I think that's where he's gone wrong. Just like everything, just the first two steps set him up so poorly. Like if it was on target, it would have been a goal.
I agree. I agree. I agree. Mari, what did you make of Vic in the first half today? Do you think you should have saved that?
100% agreed. I know me and Iggy, we've gone back and forth the last couple of years about Vic, but after Kinsky's performance, beggars can be choosers. I can't really. I mean, I'm disappointed, upset, but I'm like, well, it could be worse, and we saw that on Wednesday.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the situation that we're in.
Mari, the thing with Kinsky, I remain of the opinion that Kinsky is a very good goalkeeper. He is. He played games. We saw. He's a young kid. He's a good enough, and he's good. He's better than Vicario with his feet as well. He's better than his feet than what he showed. The problem that we had with Kinsky is the timing that he's been given a game. He's been left in the shadows for nearly a year now, and there was opportunities for him to get game times. Even before the Champions League game against Fulham, against Palace, many other teams before, there was been ample times where Vicario could have been dropped this season, and it wouldn't have been a bad call because many of us wanted him dropped. Well, many of us, not me personally, but many of us, and that's absolutely fine. We all differ opinions, but there's been reasons why that Vicario's performances haven't been good enough, and perhaps he could have been dropped in the league and given Kinsky a run of games, but that didn't happen. It hasn't happened. He hasn't played. He hasn't played cup games, hasn't played league games. He hasn't played any games. So when you then decide in a Champions League way to Atletico Madrid, now is the time to want to give him a game. This is the time. And my worry, I was on We Are Tottenham TV studios on Tuesday night, and I said it right there from there. It's a big, big call because with the goalkeeper, you need to be right. Is this the right time for a young goalkeeper to be playing in a team where it's been playing so poorly? Is this the right time to launch him in? Now, it could go absolutely two ways. If he has a really good game, a really good debut, by the way, in the Champions League, you think, wow, masterclass from Tudor. But given how things have been going at Spurs, the probability is going to go completely the other way. And the fact they didn't make 1-2 mistakes.
It's so toxic, the environment.
Where's it left? Yeah. Where does it? Where's his Spurs career at Liverpool? Where's Kinsky's career at Spurs now? Would he ever get a chance? Or will he have to be shipped out and try again somewhere else?
The good news is, Iggy, a lot of us, Courtois, a couple of people come to him, especially for his mental health. I know Joe knows about his ex-keeper, Kelleher. He went through symbolic, against Real Madrid, and I know he's kind of bounced back, from that. So he could bounce back with just the support, but I do feel bad for him. And getting back to Vic, look, there was late in the second half where close, maybe the 85th or 86th minute, where I'm just like, get the ball away. What are you doing? And he actually caused a turnover that once again Liverpool was Spurs today. Like literally, they gifted us like a chance to equalize. And thank you, Joe, because we needed that point. Like literally, I'm like, man, Liverpool got quality players, but they're playing like Spurs. They're not finishing their meal. And so with Vicario, VDV's coming back, Romero's coming back. This game left me with an encouragement that we could get a result against Forest and maybe Everton which may just be enough for us to stay in the Premier League.
Yeah. Well, Barry, welcome, mate. Thanks for coming on.
That's all right.
You seem a lot happier than when I saw you the other day.
Well, I mean, look, I'm happy because we deserve the point. I'm not happy with some of these fans that are gassing these players up like they went and played, like they turned into prime Barcelona, Real Madrid, everyone, right? I mean, look, Liverpool, Joe, I said it earlier. I said you should want Slot sacked after that. That was an absolute embarrassment.
But hold on a minute. The guy won him the league last year.
Oh, don't.
No.
Look at
He
him.
won in the league, mate. Look,
We're on
Stack 'em.
we're on 49 points in March. 49 points.
yeah, I know, but everyone's not doing
Hey,
great
Joe.
this year.
Joe,
Look at the players we have.
Joe, I'm gonna defend you. Flamengo fired Felipe Luis, their manager, who helped them win the Copa Libertadores, which is the Champions League of South America, and won the league, and they won 8-0, and they fire him the next day. So Slot can be fired. It's Janet Jackson. It's what have you done for me lately?
Real Madrid this season, they sacked Xabi Alonso after 6 months. He was 2 points behind top of the league Barca. He lost the cup final, and he was still in the Champions League. They sacked him with a 70% win ratio. Last season, they told Ancelotti to leave after he won them the Champions League the year before. He's won them multiple leagues, multiple Champions League, multiple cups. They got rid of Ancelotti the year he didn't win anything. Slot, we're going to keep Slot because he won the league last season.
Yeah, but Joe, okay, so who are you going to bring in, though? Are you going to bring in Alonso, then? Is he the answer for you?
Yeah.
Liverpool, we have the power as a club in the summer, because I've come to the realization it's not going now. In the summer, we have the power. Whatever manager we want, in reason, we have the financial capability to prize someone away from their club, whether that's a Hansi Flick from Barcelona. I'm convinced if we paid the money, we can get Hansi Flick. I'm convinced we could get a Luis Enrique. I'm convinced we can get any top manager if we paid the compensation to the club and we paid the wages. 100% they would. 100%. Xabi Alonso for me would be like a third, fourth option simply because I don't think he's the elite level that we need. I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's elite. Liverpool need an elite coach because we've got elite players. It's very clear. When you don't have an elite coach with a squad of elite players, it's very telling. Because on paper, you see our squad, you see our players should be challenging on all fronts.
Well, you've got good players, right?
Listen, today is not going to be the day that you're going to get anyone feeling sorry for Liverpool today. Sorry, mate. Today's not that day.
Let's talk about what happened to
You're in the mud, mate. You're in the mud.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy. That's why I'm happy, man, because Iggy and Panny are going to put Joe in the mud. Well,
He was so confident going into this game. Don't even try it. You were so confident going into this game. This is going to be a feast. It's going to be 4-5 today. It's going to be 6. Like, why you give it all that now? Because now you're winding me up. You was out 4-5. I was all quiet in there. He was in the quiet. We was all waiting the worst. And there you are, coming on here, giving it out Liverpool this, Liverpool. Man. You was going to get 5 or 6 goals up. Don't even try and make it out that you was going to, you thought anything other.
But you conceded 14 goals in your last 4 games. Of course.
Also, when we were playing you, and you was 1-0 up, and I said the crowd's dead, they're not getting behind the team. You said it's a championship team. Why would they need to? And you drew to us. So that just shows how dead you are.
You are a championship club.
A championship team, we don't even need to put our best team out there. You'll still get 3 or 4. Now, you listen, I stayed quiet, been listening to you, stayed quiet, and now you're moaning about your team. But don't even bother, man, because today you said we're going to get, even with this 11 at Liverpool, you're going to get 4 or 5. Hey. And even then, when your big shots come on off the bench, Salah and I don't know, what's that guy, for Etike, whatever his name is, him, you're thinking, that's it, we're going to go and get a winner. And
No.
Well, look. Let's.
Rio was the best player on the pitch. He subbed him off after an hour to put.
Joe. Look, I'll start with you, Joe. Talk to me about, from your perspective, what happened in the second half and where it went wrong for you guys. And then Barry, give me your synopsis of what happened in the second half. We'll go in that order, and then after that we'll loop round to Mari, Pani, and Iggy.
What went wrong in the second? What went right in the second half? Nothing. What went wrong? I knew after the triple sub he made on the hour mark, I was not convinced. I was not convinced. He took off our only bright spark attacking wise. He was dog walking Pedro Porro in that second half. Dog walking him. That right. So everything we done in the attacking phase was for our 17-year-old kid. Was for a 17-year-old kid. Subs him off after it. Subs him off. First sub is to sub off Rio. He takes off Wirtz to put Curtis Jones to play in the number 10. When it's clear as day, it was an end-to-end game. We needed an extra man in midfield. What does he do? Puts Curtis Jones to play number 10. You're better off keeping Wirtz on the pitch than if you're going to do that. Why take him off to put Curtis Jones number 10? He's not a creator. Should have changed it to a 4-3-3 to pack the midfield to stop it being an end-to-end game. Doesn't do that. What was the other sub that he made? He brought Ekitike on for... Oh, who was it now? Who was the third sub he made? Was it Frimpong?
The kid Frimpong, yeah.
Frimpong. That was another one, the starting 11. The guy that we bought to replace Trent to play right back was playing right wing. Szoboszlai is our best midfielder this season, playing right back. It's like he's been the wheel, like roulette with the formations that he's pitted up.
Slot's one of us, man. He's one of us.
He's a Spurs
fan. Because he wants to
man.
come to
Tottenham
Spurs.
at heart.
That's what it was. He wants to come to Spurs next year.
Listen, he fits your club, but
What?
same level.
Someone's a bit salty today.
Barry?
You was trying to give it all the nice guy a little bit, yeah? As soon as I prodded you a little bit, now it's coming out. It's coming out now.
Salty. I've just had enough of these criminal managers getting top quality jobs of nothing. He won a Premier League last season. That warrants him this season to coach like an idiot. No. He should be out. He should have gone in November when he lost 4-1 at home to PSV. He should have gone. Forgetting that 4-1 at home to PSV. He drew to a team today that ain't won in about 3 months. They still ain't won in 3 months. Let's just get that in. Still in a
It don't matter. We've got a point.
Champions League as well.
When you going for the Champions League spots today? How's that going?
We ain't getting Champions League football.
Thanks to Tottenham.
No, not thanks to Tottenham. Thanks to Arne Slot.
Joe,
this is Liverpool, Tottenham, Liverpool at Hearts all the time. So this is nothing what you're seeing here.
Yeah, but Joe Szoboszlai's happy with Conference League. Apparently, that's what he said after the game. So
Yeah, because it probably makes his price go down, so he can go to a proper club after this with a proper manager.
Oh my God! Oh, these Liverpool fans are having a proper meltdown, aren't they?
It's not a meltdown. It's been this whole.
Joe, it looks like a meltdown, mate. It looks like I've never seen you so angry.
He's fuming, mate. Fuming.
On the surface, if you look at our season, probably think it's a good season because they're used to fifth place football and all of that stuff. So they'll probably think it's good. But when you look at Liverpool, you cannot have these quality of players, and there's a chance that you're not even going to make Champions League football. How is this? It's not possible. And then you got this pigeon as well, yeah? Mishits it.
There you go. Prodded.
Make a proper connection. Make a quite off-sea shot.
He could have had a hat-trick against you boys today. The real R9.
I don't know what it is about Anfield, but the pigeon just comes alive, isn't he?
Barry, come on, Barry.
It's not just Anfield, it's relegation. We've got relegation Richarlison now. This ain't any normal Richarlison. We've got relegation Richarlison from Everton.
He's at home now. Feels at home.
Yeah.
Barry, what happened in the second half, mate? How did we manage to... Well, actually, look, let me set the stage up for you, Barry. I actually thought in the second half, we done all right, all things considered, because we opened up and we were actually attacking and we were getting into the game. I thought Sarr on the whole had a really awful game, apart from this 5-minute spell where he perked up a little bit and he beat a few players and he sort of like had a second wind about him, but then he sort of defaulted back. But what do you make of that second half, Barry?
Well, look, I mean, first half, Liverpool take their chances. We're having a different conversation, and Joe's running around the house giving it the big one. But obviously, it didn't happen. And look, second half, Liverpool just, I think, Joe's right. The substitutions changed the game, and not in their favour. I think Slot had one eye on the Champions League game in the week, and he just made mistakes. Curtis Jones is not a 10. Just left so much space in that midfield, and we just, we stuck in, we dug deep, and we managed to get there in the end. But that's the risk. If you don't take your chances and you don't finish your dinner, and it's 1-0, then someone can go up the other end and just do what we did. I mean, it was a real Spursy goal, right? I think Moani didn't even know what he was doing to get it. It was juggling around and it got to Richardson. Richardson kicked it into his other foot and it just kind of went in. But that's what happens in football, right? And if you don't take your chances, I mean, I thought it was a bit weird that he made the sub when we had the corner right at the end. But look, nothing really makes sense. It's a point. Look, we deserve the point. There's no taking away of it. But still the worst league run in 91 years. But it could be the point that keeps us up. Next week is, I don't care about Wednesday apart from the nice meal that me and Iggy will have again. So, that's the only good thing about it. And Sunday is massive. All of what we did today will mean nothing if we don't back it up next Sunday, right? So, we just need to look. We just need to, build on it, thinking and everything else. But look, you don't know what we don't know what team we're going to play on Wednesday. We won't know what team we're going to play on.
The Wednesday's done, not because I don't think a 3-0 deficit can be overturned. Absolutely, it's not. I think it's done for two reasons. One, because I don't remember the last time we've scored more than 3 goals and won a game.
Yeah.
Won a game. What's that? But also, we're winning a game by 3 goals. But also, I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet either. So you just know that if they score, that's done and dusted.
It's almost an impossible task.
It's that, and there's the
it is,
squad.
but Iggy, what's going to happen if we get that first goal? Is there a chance? Is there a chance?
You always give yourself a chance, but do you know what? Do you know what? I just want to see a good performance because we was done and dusted after 15 minutes over there. We didn't even give, like we said on the night, we didn't even get to, where you think, well, they're bringing this tactic, we're bringing this tactic, let's see the duels. We didn't even get into that part of the game because within 15 minutes it was over. So what I want to see on Wednesday is a performance which takes us to the Sunday, the important game against Nottingham Forest. So there is something there. I put the result to one side. Just seeing a good performance, a battle-like performance, a team that's fighting, and then if we don't get through on the night, which more likely than not we won't. But if we can back it with a performance, a really good performance, and even if it's a narrow win or a narrow loss, you think there was something there tonight that we can take onto the next game. That is what I want to see. And to answer the question, no, I don't think Tudor's gone. I don't think he'll go. I think he'll stay now to the end of the season. I don't see him going.
You're welcome.
I don't know how you guys just answering the question I saw in the corner there.
Look, I from what I saw in that second half is I saw the players not give up, and I don't think they gave up at all in this game. So that is a positive. That doesn't suddenly mean, to Barry's point, it doesn't suddenly mean that they're all quality now and they're all of that stuff.
Yeah.
They've got a long way to go on that front.
Oh yeah.
You can see that we're just lacking quality and confidence in the key areas of the pitch. I mean, that our central midfield was just almost non-existent from an attacking sense. But what was really encouraging was that when Xavi came on, you could just start to see a few bits of quality coming through. Not that he was anything amazing, but he can see a pass. He can drive forward. He makes the opposition have to double up or change their tactics to deal with him. To a certain extent. man of the. I think the pigeon always turns up against Liverpool, doesn't he? He always turns up. He's like a thorn in their side. I'm a bit disappointed with Richardson though. I actually felt he should have had
A hat
3
trick.
goals today. Yeah. The two headers he missed should have been goals.
Well,
if that was Harry Kane, you 100% their goals.
I'm gonna say this though: the one in the 80th minute, it was kind of not his fault. Even the commentary here in the States, Gray puts a little bit too much on it. If Gray like pinpoints that lob pass to him, it's a goal. It's the equalizer earlier, but Gray gets a little bit too high, and so. But I'll give Richardson credit. He did what he had to do. Like I said, we're trying to survive. We're taking crumbs. Liverpool has given us the chance, and Joe should be kicking himself because they literally gave us the chance, and we seized it. So it was death. We stole it. We stole a draw. You name it. We did it. And the last 15 minutes, we were trying so hard, but Liverpool had their chances, and I saw that they were the mirror image of Spurs. The commentator was like, "Oh, this game is open." Yeah, openly bad in the final third. Openly bad in the final third for both teams until we equalize.
Panny, and Joe, you can come in as well. Was it a penalty with
which one?
When Richarlison went through and
oh no, leave off. That was great.
I said if Romero does that or Van de Ven does that, it's a foul.
Romero,
because it's Van Dijk, he gets a little bit leniency.
I agree. I actually think that was a penalty. I'm being honest. I actually think because
it was Richarlison as well.
You could see when he was running, he was literally like running like this. When he was running,
every defender in world football, every top defender in world football, when a striker's in on goal, they always have someone by the shoulder, and they.
Like Van de Ven done it last week and got sent off.
Van de Ven pulled the guy's shirt. It's not even the same at all.
Van Dijk was pulling Richarlison though.
Van Dijk was leaning. It wasn't a pull.
He's had his hand on his shoulder. He's got his arm across. It's not. If that's a penalty, then the game's gone.
Come on, man. Just because it was a penalty and you didn't get
it's not a penalty. It's never.
Do you guys not feel that there's certain players come with certain responsibility, come with certain reputation? Certain players will I'm not. Listen, I said it at the beginning. It was one of them ones where if they give it, no one's gonna moan because it might. There was that level of pulling, and if they don't, they don't. These are kind of contrasts during the game between a defender who's trying to use his power to not let the striker go, and the striker's trying to get away, and it's one of them ones where he's using his experience. But however, I will say this, and I think Pan's onto something. That's Romero, or if that's Van de Ven or any other player, I think he's getting penalised. It's that 50%. It's that 50%. Listen, I'm not. All I'm saying is a 50-50. What I'm saying is it should be that it's viewed all the same way. I just think with certain players, it's one decision, and with certain other players, it's another decision. It's as simple as that. That's what I'm saying.
Right? It would have 100% been given as a penalty.
Van de Ven got away with one in Europe on Wednesday. He should have gone on Wednesday as well. They didn't give it there.
And we admit that, but you can't admit that it was
Romero, if that's Romero in that situation, he's either pulling the man down or he's taking him out completely. He's not going to try and get his arm across. What Van Dijk did was in that moment was perfect. It was perfect defending.
Joe, be humble,
It's not.
There's a bias. There is a bias. Listen, you can't see it. You might know there is a level of bias, and I've told you this many times. And I think Van Dijk's a great defender. It's a fact. It's a really.
I'm not. Yeah, you're right. I'm not having any of these refereeing decisions from Liverpool fans. The amount of decisions they've been given over.
I just think there's.
It's not a penalty.
No. Listen, like I said, I think with with referees, there's a viewpoint with players like Van Dijk, and then we'll decide on that side. And then other players with Romero, it's almost instantaneously where they put a yellow card out. It's a fact, man. Isn't it? At the end of the day, reputation perceives himself.
Why
Van
is that,
Dijk's
though?
known as a clean defender, and Romero isn't.
But Romero does it to himself. That's why he doesn't help himself. He goes in.
But referees are there to ref. They're not. They shouldn't be looking at the player or the number. They should be looking at the situation. And if that's not a foul, you see what Van Dijk has done there. If that's not a foul, I'm happy to move forward and say those should not be given. But if I see a similar sort of thing again, and it involves a Spurs player, and exactly the same, which will happen. In 3 or 4 games' time, we will see the exact same thing. We'll come back here and we'll say, how comes that weren't given against Richardson back at Anfield? Yeah. And this one is. We're going to see that. And that's the part I'm trying to get at.
You're right.
There's nothing about it.
Look, listen, right? Lady Justice is blind. Yeah. Right? They should judge everything in that moment in time to the letter of the law. Right? It shouldn't be that against certain players they give it and against other players that they shouldn't. I felt in that moment that Richarlison actually had a point. He had a point because soon as he got ahead of Van Dijk, like you said, Joe, put his arm over him and literally was leaning on him to the point where Richarlison was like running like he was Michael Johnson when he used to run upright. He used to run like that. Yeah. That's how he was running. It was. You could see that he really put him off. His stride.
Danny, that's what he's meant to do as a defender. Put the striker off. And
I'm fine with that. I just want to see consistency. If that is level of defending against a striker is permitted and it's not giving a foul, it can't not just be not a foul today. It has to be not a foul always. Not like when you see Romero do it. That will be given as a foul. That's what my issue is. It's like it has to be consistency throughout.
But we're talking about this incident in solidarity. That you're talking about consistency. If it happens again, cool. But in this instance, it's not a foul.
I had no problem with it. To be honest with you, when I saw it, I thought, yeah, do you know what? Van Dijk he used it as an advantage. He didn't let the player get away, and in the end, he made him to get a shot where it was right at the end, where he couldn't do nothing else but just latch at it. And I was fine with it. I just now want to say, do you know what? This is now the point. It's like, if we're going to give penalties away, that has to be a penalty is a serious thing. You don't want to see any really soft penalties. You want to see, do you know what? Whoa, everyone's got to look at it. Whether you're neutral, whether you're it's your team or not, you got to look and say, you know what? Yeah, that's a penalty. And like we all have to, as for a love of football, for the love of football, to see a proper, penalty be given, say where everyone turns around, you know what, or at least 90% of people say, yeah, that was a that was a penalty. But in this situation here, I feel like game by game we see similar incidents, but depending on the perpetrators or the interpreters or the players that do that, will determine what level of yes, a free kick, or it might be a yellow card, it might even be a red card. You know what I mean? And that's the part I don't understand, because it's almost as if there's it's him. It's it would have had to have definitely. Oh, it's Richarlison. He's a diver. It's definitely. Do you know what I mean? It's like I don't want to see the color of the shirt or the name on the jersey. I want to see that's a foul. That's not a foul. Period.
Yeah. So, guys, what did we make of the goal then? Moani done well to get the ball. No Colo.
Sub's done well coming on.
Right, so you could argue his job was done in terms of points this season to save us, maybe if we do make it. Sets up Richarlison, decent finish from Richie. What did we make of the goal? Anyone come in?
We'll let Scouser answer first. Go on, Scouser, from your point of view, and then we'll go from my point of view.
But we concede the same goals every week. We can't deal with initially the ball came from a lofted pass into Robertson. I can't remember who played the ball, but it was a lofted ball that's come back in. Robertson doesn't deal with it. Straight into Colomwani's pass, and then the pigeon hits it with both of his feet, and it goes in. It's very easy to
Joe, can't you just accept that he finished it well and he scored? Why do you have to like?
Because he kicked it. He mishit it. He kicked it to the ground. He mishit it.
It's his tactic. That's what he does. It's like
Be so bad that it turns out to be so good.
Yeah. Have you not seen Spurs? And like, you know.
Oh, no, but no. All jokes aside, be serious. It's the same problems with from a Liverpool point of view, and Arne Slot's even said it. Is that our teams play a certain way against us to score their goals? Well, yeah, because there's a blueprint to score goals against us. Lump the ball in the box in the air, and you'll score against Liverpool. We have the best aerial centre back in the league, and we still can't deal with balls in the air. So clearly, it's a tactical setup problem, which is your job that you're not doing. And teams keep picking at it. Liverpool can't defend the ball that comes in the air because there was a few occasions. There was a couple in the first half, balls in the box. Richardson probably should have had a couple goals. Second half, I believe, who put the ball in? Was it Gray? Just slightly overhit it for Richardson. Another ball in the box, another dangerous situation. Then the goal came from a ball that's been lofted back in. So it's clear that if Spurs were going to score, it would be from a ball in the box or a corner.
To be honest with you, that's like I said, there's a blueprint, and Liverpool struggle with those balls. And I think us playing with two up front, Liverpool are not used to playing. I said it earlier on. Liverpool are not used to playing with it. Normally used to playing against one. The fact that we play two up there, and every now and again we'll play those balls in because we knew that you struggle with it. And I thought the longer the game goes on, and the fact that we kept not only the two up front, but we put Colomani on as well. And Simmons.
Iggy,
that was like a 4-2-4.
It's not rocket science.
I felt Solanke was ineffectual though. I think Richie done all the work.
In terms of quality, he was. In terms of having someone to he used his body a lot today, man. He put himself about, and if nothing else, Maz, the fact that they had two to deal with meant that Richie perhaps was a little bit more freer to move about because Solanke was taking the full attention. Listen, we went up there with two forwards and we ended up with 4 attacking players in that last 15 minutes. We wanted to get something out of it and we believed that we would. And, you know, it came about. I don't know what you think, Pan.
Well, me personally, I love that goal. Literally couldn't have been a better goal. Couldn't have been a better goal. Just with the fact that the ball bounced. Like Robertson just misjudged it completely. Van Dijk as well. Both of them just like, and then the fact that it just falls to Richardson, and the fact that he mishit the ball and it just bobbles into the goal makes it so much more nicer.
The cop end.
At the cop end, oh my! You couldn't write it. It's just lovely. And honestly, it's so much better scoring a goal like that, the 90th minute to steal a point, than scoring a screamer because it just yeah, because it just makes like everyone else 10 times more angrier when the goal goes in. So it's outstanding, really.
No, you know what it is that got me with that goal even more? It was a shameless celebration as well. Like he's not 1 point above the relegation zone. He's going like this up to the crowd. Like, mate, calm yourself down.
You know what? Not only did the atmosphere at the stadium change, the atmosphere in the house completely and utterly changed. And I said it as well. When I saw the celebration in front of the camera, I did think to myself, Richie, man, we've been here before, man. We just relax here a little bit because in the next minute, oh my God, everyone has scored again. Do you know what? In the end, I do feel like we settled for a point. Like it was almost as if like we don't want to risk, took each other. I felt like I don't know if I'm being greedy now, man.
I think the players were gassed out, mate.
Do you think we should have pushed on to try and get a winner?
Stop. Don't be greedy, man. Don't. It's like you're
I
at
don't know.
buffet.
I just felt like
it's like you're at the buffet. You've had 4 plates and you want the 5th, mate, because you paid all you can eat. You know what I mean?
Do you know what it was? I'll tell you what it was. Talking of plates and food, right? That was like a team that was just starving. And Liverpool, all they did is drop the cracker on the floor. And you're like, got a taste of that. And he thinks, like, whoa, should I be like a little bit satisfied with that cracker? Because that's the first time of food I've had in months. Or I've had a cracker now. I want more. I want to go get another one. I don't know, man. It's just one of them ones.
We weren't dropping crackers. We had a 20 nugget box and we kept giving you nuggets. That's what we were doing. It weren't crackers. We were giving you proper food. Wasn't no crackers.
Look.
It's our first point in like 6 weeks. It's like
I know. You're welcome. You're welcome. You see, Liverpool charity. That's what we're called from now on. Liverpool charity. We gave a point to
man,
Burnley.
they call us not to Tottenham. We
fixed
fixed more teams this season than anyone has ever in the whole
I'm
of Premier
saying
League.
we are charity for the relegation teams. We gave Leeds a point at Anfield, Forest 3 points at Anfield, Burnley a point at Anfield, Spurs a point at Anfield. Liverpool charity this year. That's what we are.
It's nice
Look,
of you, man.
I want to move it on, right, to some of the players and their performances like, as individual. I thought Dragusin tonight was awful. I think he's a player that we definitely need to move on next season. He just looks so shaky, and you know, when you see enough of a defender over a couple of seasons, fine, he hasn't been a regular starter for us, but he needs to do better than what he done today. And you can see it that Danzo was so much better than Dragusin, just as a competent defender on there. I was really disappointed with Dragusin today. I thought Sarr, apart from 5 minutes in the second half where he decided to turn it on a little bit, his distribution today was poor. He didn't really help with the team in terms of passing. You know, kept giving the ball away. I thought Gray was so much better than Sarr today. It's unbelievable.
Has a lot more personality, Gray.
Yeah, you know, Gray's really you know,
he's
like,
winning a lot of fans over. You know that, Gray.
Well, because he's showing fight, and he might not be our best player. He's nowhere near our best player, and he might still have a long way to go in terms of improving in his career. But at least the boy's fighting. I mean, I've never seen a player be in so many different positions in my life. He's like the ultimate utility man, isn't he? Just we stick him everywhere.
He shows adaptability. He's shown character. He's never caused any problems. But also, Maz, he's very experienced in this level of relegation battle football. He's been involved in it at Leeds, so he knows exactly what needs to be done. A lot of players here that don't. I agree with Dragusin. Dragusin, since his post-injury, man, he's still finding his feet. He's in and out of the team. All right, he has been a lot more involved recently because of circumstances more than anything else. But it's very difficult to come into a team that's struggling post-injury. So I do understand it. The performances are there, but I thought he wasn't great. I didn't think Porro was great. I thought Spence and
Porro was poor today.
Yeah, Paul. So you know, we've got a few players like that. You know, in every position, in every department, you got 2 out of 4 players at the back not well. The goalkeeper, although he did make a save, I know that he was disappointed with in the free kick, but we forget they made the other point. Who was it? Yeah, against Gapco, who made a really good save there. So you know, it's always like it's a good and a bad with him at the moment with the goalie. Yeah. Then you move on to in midfield. You rightly say Sarr, a lot of running, but nothing much else. Gray was better. On the wing, Souza. How do we judge his performance, man? We bought him as a
slow, by the way. Have we bought another really slow player?
Whoever comes into the Premier League as a foreign import always struggles. The first few months is always going to be struggle. Now he's coming into a relegation team, 18-year-old who was hooked off last week, after half hour. So, and now he's not played the left; he's gone on the right. So how can you judge him? We have to give him time to. I want to wait a little bit longer to really before we throw it at him.
Well, I thought Tell tried really hard today, but you can just see he's just not a very good footballer. He's just not.
Yeah.
You know what I find with Tell, Maz, his decision making in the vital moments is almost always
he hasn't
wrong.
got the skill, like when he needs to shuffle a couple of yards to say left or right, or just do that tiny bit of skill just to give himself a few yards to beat his man. He trips up in his feet. He's got no skill.
Maz, I don't. I've actually seen him play for the under teams for France, and with him, I don't want to say he's lacking a lot of skills. No. I'm thinking there's a lot of mental, like he gets a found third, and it's almost like, oh shit.
It's decision making.
What do I have to do?
Because to me, he comes across.
He lacks clarity.
It almost seems like he needs a sports therapist
I don't
like a
agree,
sport.
Mari. Look,
No, because
for me, when he gets into that final third, right, I think he thinks he can do it, but then his technical stuff gets in the way. I think he thinks I'm going to run here and I'm going to shoot and I'm going to score or I'm going to beat this player, and he tries it and he's like, oh shit, I don't have the skills to do it.
I think he shits in his pants. I really think he shits in his pants. Like, oh, final third, and it's just like, because he is indecisive. I get what you're saying, but there's also times where I'm just like, pass the ball. Oh, let me get to this. It was the 86th minute. This is the reason why I would never like Papa Sarr. You can tell me about his engine, what's what. I do not care. In that 86th minute, I mean, he had so much space to take the shot or pass it off earlier. Wasteful opportunity. He sends it off out to the right, which I think was Pedro Porro's there. Then Pedro Porro, one of the bad,
today. He couldn't cross today at all.
Yeah, he was terrible today. Papa Sarr, dude, talk about indecisive. Like, bro, you have acres to be able to hit a screamer or a quality pass because you had two others. He ends up passing off to Porro late.
Yeah,
and
that was at the last. Are you talking at the end of the game, Mari?
Yeah, it was like the 86th minute.
Yeah, that was at the end of the game. He had a chance to take a shot and he avoided it. And then Porro could have just put some balls in and he decided to shoot.
Yeah, Sarr
poor.
Terrible, bro. This is what frustrates me about Papa Sarr. Like, those moments. And I'm just like, man, we need to get a quality box-to-box midfielder who knows when to pass and knows when to shoot. I mean, I'm not asking you to be Valverde, but damn, Sarr, you gotta do better there. We need an equalizer before Richardson. I'm throwing stuff at the TV. I'm like, Sarr, what are you doing? Like literally, I went mental at that part.
But you know what, though? If you look at it, like we've just gone through the players there, half of the team performed, or half of the players performed to an acceptable level, and half of the players were disappointing overall. You know, we commend the teams for going out there and getting a point, which, you know, at Anfield, that's one of the grounds that we never ever get anything from.
Yeah.
But when you look at it player for player, you see that half of the team performed for whatever reason, and half of the team,
well,
you know, you could say 6.5 out of 10, 7 out of 10, but then and then, you know, the second, you know, the other lot probably got an average at best. So listen, I just hope we could take a little bit of positive from Anfield and take it onto the next game. It's so important, man.
CJL 8793, right, says look at the stats. I'm looking at the stats on SofaScore, just the key ones. And aside from passing accuracy, I don't really see Sarr being head and shoulders above anyone, really. I mean, in SofaScore, we've got a 7.0. It's higher than Archie Gray, but I think on the eye he's ineffectual. I don't think he does enough. But he'll have a period of 5 minutes in a game where he'll beat a couple of players, he'll win tackles, you start seeing perking up and you start thinking, bloody hell, okay, where was this for the whole game? And then you see other parts of the game where he can't pass. It looks like he can't pass because he just doesn't look confident. So I don't know, guys. I just think that we've seen enough of Sarr now to know that he's just not it at Spurs, and he's been here for now 3 seasons. It was even under Conte, wasn't he? And he's just not there.
He's a good athlete, but he's not a footballer. He's just, he runs around a lot. But
yeah,
I just think today, like you're saying about the players, I thought Danso was good.
Nick, just a quick one. Joe, do you need to jump off?
Yeah, I need to.
Thanks for coming on, mate. Thanks for the
voyage. Have a cold shower.
Trip at Anfield. Brilliant to have you on, and hopefully next season you can give us 3 instead of 1. Just be generous.
Next season when we see you in the FA Cup in the second round, because you're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Less of that.
Round. He said second round. Liverpool don't go in the second round. Maybe they're getting relegated as well. They're on 49 points. Can they still be relegated?
He's still talking, Joe. Joe's still talking. Is it you taking him off? And he's still
No. I hope we get done for corruption and meet you in the championship next year, honestly.
Oh, my God.
See you later.
All right, later.
Later. Thanks for coming on.
But no, look,
on,
I think look, I thought Dancer, I thought Dancer was really good. I mean, Vicario, yeah, all right, he made a couple of saves, but that's his job. But the way his feet were for that free kick, and he should have saved that all day long. I mean, that was just poor again. I think Sousa. Look, I think the one thing I don't know what you spoke about earlier. The one thing I was concerned about is obviously I understand why Jed Spence was playing on the left, because obviously they thought Salah was going to start, but when Salah didn't start, they surely could have changed it up a little bit. No, you can't sit there to these footballers and go, "Oh, we can't." We got the team an hour before, so check. You put Spence on the right, put Sousa back on the left. I don't know. I just think that we're kind of hanging him out to dry. But
I don't get. I'm sort of perplexed when you've got Porro, Barry, that for Sporting and for us for under Ange, he was basically a right winger, right, or right forward, right, and we don't think, right, okay, let's stick Sousa out on the left because that's his natural position, because Salah is not playing. Let's put Spence in his natural position on the right as right back, and then let Porro go on the right wing. Yeah, and let him just do his thing. So you're alleviating Porro of that defensive responsibility, which, let's be honest, is not a great defender, and you've got a much more balanced team. Then I think
Sousa and Tell on that left side would have been a little bit too weak for me, man. We would have
but I wouldn't have played Tell there. I would have actually played Richardson on the left, because he's played on the left for us.
I think moving forward, a 4-3-3 would suit us a lot better. I do believe that. I'm struggling to see where Xavi Simons plays. Even when he came on, it's like you could see Colomwani had a little bit more impact in the game than perhaps Xavi had. Xavi just seems a bit lightweight, man.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think so? I don't know. I just think Xavi, he's good on the ball and stuff like that. I'd like to see him a little bit more.
When he first come on, the ball was coming off him. It went out for a throw. He was losing his touch.
But what I'm saying is, I like to see him. It's not the impact. I'd like to see him really be more poignant, like more of a threat, like impact the games with a little bit more determination.
He's not being started, man.
I know, but the thing is, the way I see it, Maz, is you get minutes on the pitch, and if you get like 10-minute cameo, 15-minute, then and you do well in that 15, you've earned yourself the right to play 30 minutes next time you come on, or half. And then if you do well in that half, then you deserve your start. But I don't see where this guy, and he's not the only one, by the way. He's not the only one, where he has merited a start. Where do you see that? Because in this, for me, he needs to come on that last 20, 25 minutes. You can see that we're really pushing on, and Liverpool are kind of like, just now get that ball and make things happen. I just never see. Listen, Maz, I find it frustrating because I actually like the player, and I think there is a really good player in there. I just think there should be more about him than just being a pretty footballer. It should be like really
he's the only player that drives forward. He's the only player that can pick out a pass or make something happen.
Yes, I agree with all those things. I do. But I just like to see a little bit more grit about him, really make things happen. Get on that ball, take players on, have a shot, be there and be.
He does. How many times have you seen him beat a player?
Not today. Did you feel that they did that today?
Well, he's like Ellie came on for a short period of time.
But Maz, I think Ulasesi showed. If you're talking about the midfielders, Ulasesi for me showed he looked composed on the ball. Well, he looked like he was moving into the right spaces. Look, it's 5 minutes or whatever he came on for. I'm not going to do what most fans will do and gas him up, but that's what I think Iggy's trying to say about Simmons is to command command that midfield and try and pull those strings a little bit. Well, for however long you're on, if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes.
He was. I think he was out of everyone. I think he was doing that up until Tudor came, and he just got dropped.
I think with Simmons, I think there is a good player. Everyone can see he's a good player, but I think when he hasn't been starting, you could just tell when he was starting, you could see he was picking up form like December time before he got sent off against Liverpool. It's just he's a confidence player. Like when he's confident and when he's firing, you've seen glimpses of him at Tottenham where he's been good. Even that Brentford game, got goal and assist. Like he was playing good. Like for me, I think he's just a confidence player. And when you're bringing him off the bench, he's not that type of guy to be like, let me come on and prove myself and have that fire in my belly. You kind of need to like spoon feed him a little bit, if you get what I mean. Like give him the confidence, because if he has the confidence, he is that player. He will help us. But I think when he's coming with this team, and obviously the team ain't helping, his confidence is low. And I think it's we have a few players that are like confidence players. And I think if we can get his confidence up, he'll be a magnificent player for us.
That I agree with, Panny. I think that certain players in our team are confidence players, and we just don't have much of it at the moment. So, right, guys, look, let's move on from this. I think it's a great result. Obviously, it's a massive point for Spurs because we all thought we were going to get pumped.
Oh, yeah.
Mari, what are you seeing against Nottingham Forest? What do we need to do? We should have a few players back by then. We should have... Is Romero and Van der Ven coming back?
Yes, it should. Just to clear the confusion, they don't have to miss the next game. It's just 10 days, and the 10 days are up before the Forest game. So Palhinha and Romero will play. Van der Ven will also play.
So now Atletico Madrid for them too.
Gallagher should be back as well, right?
Yeah. So I honestly, for this game, I want to see Solanke. I think Richardson earned starting minutes. And Colomani, we need to get ahead first. In the midfield, I don't want to see the back five. I want to see the solid four. I want to see Romero, VDV. They'll finally be together, together. No red card whatsoever, along with Porro and Spence. Then in the middle, I want to see Palhinha. Sarr. I know I was just talking about him over Gray, and I want to see Xavi Simmons in there. No, actually Gallagher is Xavi Simmons. I want to see our best 11 against Forest. I want to see us be aggressive. I want to see us have chances where, I'm thinking it's a game where we win. After today, strange enough, confident that we could get at home a 2-0 result. 2 corner piece goals, one by VDV, maybe one by Romero, and call it a day, and just get those 3 points.
Murray, I think you had too much sun, mate. I think you had too much sun.
I know it's that Costa Rica.
What do you guys make of this? Do you think this is not the first time I read this comment? I mean, they're probably Romero's probably not gonna play against Atletico Madrid anyway. But moving forwards, I'm seeing this quite a lot not because they're not good enough, obviously, but whether they're fully committed to the cause.
I agree. I think they're a major part of the issue in the dressing room.
Yeah, but that's kind of and Barry. Yeah, that is a wet dream of a result, but they're part of our best 11. I get what people are saying. Danzo would be for the cause and Dragusin, but I honestly think we need our best 11 playing against Forest. And I feel that if they show some kind of fight like they showed today, we should at home get a result. It be 1-0, 2-1. I think we should get a result, despite our form.
I agree with
Barry?
what Psycho Teacher said. I thought Solanke was anonymous today. I don't know what he did.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I thought it was awful.
Should we save him against Atletico Madrid and just save him for the Forest game?
I don't know what does it with. I think the trouble is with Romero and Van der Ven coming back, it brings back the question and the problem. We've seen what we've done 4-4-2. He reverts straight back because those two are back. Two of back three. It gives us more issues.
Move forward the back four. Whatever happens,
Play
play three in the
four.
midfield. And then maybe go with a 4-4-2 if Archie Gray and Sarr is what we're moving forward with. Because
but that's the thing. Do you, Mario? I know you want to like bring him in, but for a Danso and a Gray to just go and drop them for arguably our biggest game.
I think Dragusin will get dropped. I think Dragusin will get dropped for one of them, and the other one I don't know.
Well, Romero put out on his social of him saying that we all need to fight together, and he showed him having a Tottenham shield on there, like he was like defending.
Oh yeah, I saw
you know what I mean, like that Spartan type attitude and stuff. And I'm thinking, what now? You're doing this, not earlier on in the season.
Yeah,
it's. I don't know. I kind of agree with Rum Scully. I think there have been a massive reason why the players didn't respect Frank. And I think there are a massive reason why, certainly when Tudor came, that the players sort of down tools, apart from today, it seems, for some reason. But here's a question.
But Maz, if it doesn't work out and it's VDV and Romero not starting, it's going to be even more toxic with our fan base. They're available. They're not coming back. Because this Forest game is probably our biggest one in 5 years because of the ramifications.
Yeah.
Do we think that the players have woken up, though, Maury? Do we think that this is why they've put in this performance today?
They have to. As much as we've seen the clips, the supposedly clips of what they're saying or not. I know it's been debated on Spurs 5 and Salva's show and about what comments are true or whatsoever. Right now, in that building, that shit show that is the club, they need to know that this game against Forest, this is bigger than the Champions League game because of the ramifications. We go down, I'm telling you, and I posted this to everybody, that video, I gave it to Johnny and everybody. It's reality. We may not be back up in a year or two because of the losses. If you truly dissect what may happen, this Forest game is important. We need the best of the best in quality. We almost have to overlook VDV's attitude and Romero. Like, this game that's coming up against Forest is huge. And if we don't start our best players, there is going to be a lot of, it's already infighting, but it's going to be much more. You're not playing VDV and Romero and they're available?
Panny, what do you reckon, Panny? Should they start against Forest?
Well, is Van der Ven available for the Forest game? Because he got a straight red, so I don't even know.
Yeah, it was downgraded to one match because it wasn't violent conduct.
Yeah, it wasn't violent. Yep.
In my opinion, I think, do you know what it is? Any other situation, I don't think they should play. If your head's not in the club, you shouldn't play. But because you look at the alternatives, you got Danso, he's a decent player. You got that, he can play. But then you look, you see Dragus, and you're like, do we really want to play Dragusin against Nottingham Forest in one of our biggest games? You see Dragusin, you're like, no. So that's why I think they can get in off that. But at the same time,
out of the two, let's say you can't drop Danso because he's played well for us, right? Out of the two, then who would you pick, Van der Ven or Romero, to play?
He's Romero. Van der Ven's been guys. I know people say you're a Romero lover whatsoever, but have you seen what the last 3 games Van der Ven has done? And he should have had a red the previous game, even though he got a red. VDV has been out of control. And his errors, other than chasing down guys, his defense has not been good this last 2 months.
Yeah, but
I mean,
Mara,
it's been
I think if you play Danso, it's better to play him on the right than the left. That's the only reason why I play Van der Ven, because he's an actual left-sided
okay.
centre back.
I see that. Yeah, I see your point. I see your point there, because I would think Romero Danzo, because VDV, I don't know what has been going on with him. You know, he's been really like not good.
I'd play Van der Ven left back. I'd use him a left back moving forward to the end of the season. Play him out wide. Use Danso Romero now. I think Danso's been solidified, and then you could play Spence at right back and play maybe Porro further up the field. We've all said many a times we would like to see Porro further up the field. Why not do it in a 4-4-2? I think that would solidify a lot of things, and that, you know, we can, with those players set up, that we can switch to a back three off the ball and on the ball. So
who would you be your left-sided player then?
Left-sided player at the moment, who we got available. We've only got Terrell and Xavi Simons. We haven't got anyone else to be playing on the left.
I think if you're going to play a back four, you have to play 5 in the midfield. I think you've got to play. Let's say the 5 in the midfield would be Porro on the right, Gallagher in the 8 role, Paulinho in the 6, Xavi in the 10, and on the left it would have to be.
Gray.
Let's say
I will
Gray or
probably,
Tell,
I will try and move forward with the team that we played today in a tactic that works. I know it's simple 4-4-2 and that, but you know what? You can't now dismantle that. I think it'd be worse if we do that. I think maybe we can change a little bit of personnel, like Sousa, bring Van der Ven in, play him at left back, move Porro further up, and put Spence across, and you keep it the same. Yeah, you might drop Dragusin on for Romero. Okay, you're thinking, you know what? That's fine as well.
I think they've got to manage the squad that like we've only got 13 odd fit players.
I hear you, but listen, we're gonna go out of the Champions League on Tuesday. Let's be honest, all right, or for Wednesday rather. That gives us one game a week, man. With 14, 15 players, we can manage it. It's always gonna be a game every 7 days, man. Every week.
What do you want to see, mate, against Forest?
I think the only question mark about today was what he did with Sousa, Spence, and Porro. I think if we're gonna do it, we've got Sousa, you can play left back. Spence is a right back. Whoever plays in the centre, I think 4-4-2 has to be. 4-4-2 has to be the one, but we have to make it work, or we just play we play a false 9 or whatever behind one of them up front. I don't think Richardson and Solanke work up the top together. No. So I think, maybe we go the 4-5-1 like you said, and maybe we can interchange it, and it creates a bit of an overload in the midfield, because ultimately that's been our undoing, right? We saw against Madrid, we had arguably our best defense and arguably our best attack, but then we left the midfield open to be dominated. So, but what we have to do is we have to get people playing, and people have to be consistent. We can't have Xavi being dropped, then Xavi comes in to start, then he has a stinker. Then, do you know what I mean? Like we saw.
So are you suggesting then that we don't drop Gray and Sarr for Paulinho and Conor Gallagher?
I think I'm Sarr for me. He can be dropped. He does, all he does is run around, right? He shows 5 minutes, like Spurs show for 10 minutes when they're 2-0 down and they get a goal, and then they're like, oh, let's show a bit of fight for 10 minutes, or what we've seen in the last 12 to 18 months. But so I don't think, I think Paulinho has to come back in. I don't, I get it.
He's the best number 6, man. He's the best number 6 in the club. I don't understand why we've ended up playing him at centre back when it's not like we've got another one in the midfield. He's got to be straight back into the team. He's one of my favourite players in this team. If we go back at the 3-man midfield, he's got to be in that. Even a 2-man midfield, he's got to be in that. Whatever midfield we put out there, 3 or 2, he's got to be one of those players. And you're right, before when you guys said Gray has showed a bit of fight in him. and I think he's ready. Sarr was poor today. So all I'm saying is, on the back of today's performance, who did not perform? If we're going to say Dragusin didn't perform, bring Romero back in. At left back, I've said it. I think Van der Ven should probably go left back now. I wouldn't play him in the centre with him. I don't think he'll get done by a lot of wingers playing out there. And with
Guys.
Spence, we'd be really solid in the full back areas with those two there and Romero and Danso.
Guys, we
In
got to
midfield, bring Paulinho in and with Gray because they have shown more guaranteed than Gallagher has. Gallagher's been poor the last couple of games. Basuma, forget him. Basuma's done. The only players that are up for grabs, if you play Porro further up on the right hand side, the only real position up for grabs on the left hand side, which you can argue, Xavi Simons or Tell. Those are the players. But I would definitely stick on the basis of what I saw today, the two up front. And you can got three choices there. Solanke, Richardson, and Colomwani. Right now, you think Richarlison's definitely earned himself a start. The other two spots are for Solanke or Colomwani. Colomwani for me today showed that he's better as an impact sub. Therefore, Solanke starts. It's really easy when you break it down.
Iggy,
So 4-4-2.
but you're basing it. You're basing it on today. We gotta take consideration.
What can I do? We've been shit for the last 6 months. Of course, I'm gonna base on one.
No, I'm just saying we got a game on Wednesday. We got to see how these players play. Yes, we're gonna get trounced by Atletico, but you got to see how these guys play on Wednesday, and they're coming in fit because it seems this guy picked up a nick, this other person picked up another nick here and there to see who's going to be available and who is truly on form for the Forest game. So that game in the middle of the week will tell all for Tudor who is going to play against the Forest game.
Murray, we're 3-0 down in Atletico Madrid.
I get that.
If you got to look at the situation that we are. I said earlier, a 3-0 deficit it'd be difficult but not impossible.
Iggy,
but you got to look at our situation.
But Tudor,
I think we're going to waste so many energies on that game. We're down to 14 players a week. We're down to 14 players. All right. Yeah, we're going to recover the other 2 or 3 boys for the game against Forest. We're still down to 14 players. Now, you're going to ask them to go and put a performance against Atletico Madrid to try and turn. I'm not saying don't try, but I think if we waste too many energies there, risk potential injuries, we could be real trouble for Forest.
I agree with you. I think
we need to cut our losses with Atletico Madrid and really go forward to think about the Forest game.
Tudor is so unpredictable. So that's why I said Wednesday, we got to take into consideration what starting lineup is he going to go with and how many minutes these players are going to play, knowing the Forest game. For me, I do not trust Tudor at all. So,
but guys, is Tudor going to look at the Atletico game and think, I want to keep continuity? He's already come out in his post match, and I've seen.
We don't know.
The players believe, and all this sort of stuff. So, is it what I'm worried about? Is he's going to keep the same team what he's played against Liverpool now?
I agree.
But like Iggy said, they're going to pick up injuries or they're going to get running. They're not going to have energy for that Forest game. And I don't care what anyone says. That Forest game and the game after, is it Sunderland we play after them?
Sunderland away, yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah. They're the 2 biggest games of our season because if we can get 6 points from those games, right, we could potentially be safe if the other
teams drop points. Not one of us could say we trust what Tudor should do on Wednesday. I don't.
Well, look, guys, Is there anything anyone wants to say before we wrap things up? Because we've covered all the talking points.
No, just hope Iggy and Panny just give Joe crap a week, please.
He deserves it. I hope they sack Slot and we get him.
Don't worry, I will.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, look. Thanks for Barry. Thanks for coming on, mate. Really good to see you. It's like twice in 1 week. I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Right, Barry. Where can people find you, mate? Are you just floating around the channel?
Just floating. Well, me and Iggy. Find me and Iggy next Wednesday.
We'll be back on the studio. We are Tottenham TV studios doing the watch along for the Madrid game. We'll see
that could be a tough Wednesday night. You
Yeah,
better get a
well,
good old meal.
I'll say a
afterwards.
prayer for you guys.
Thanks, man.
Iggy's fault. He's like, yeah. Do you fancy one? Oh, should we do both? And I was like, oh my.
He's a glutton for punishment.
I'm gonna bring Little Man back on. He's gonna start coming on doing a few more Spurs shows. So he's had a good debut tonight. First time he's come on and off,
Good
but
lad.
this is the first live full stream he's done. So
we all know who's Iggy's favorite son.
And Murray, he's my favourite as well. Yeah. F Joe, if he's still listening as well.
Penny, good job, buddy. Thanks
good
for coming
debut,
on
son.
today. Good debut.
Stuff,
And we'll see you again. And Mari, we'll see you obviously on the next show when we do it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm actually going to do a show Thursday.
And everyone in the chat, thanks for joining us tonight. Thanks for the comments and everything. Let us know in the comments, guys. Like and subscribe, obviously. Let's keep the channel growing as well. Make sure you smash that like to the stream as well, and let us know your thoughts in the comments. Whether you've seen this live, or I know there's a lot of shows on at the moment as well. So perhaps our show will be seen further down the line or later on the evening. Let us know your comments. Let us know your feedback on what we discussed tonight, and share with respect. If you don't agree with the opinions, rebuttal, but do so without profanities and all of that. Cool. Right, I'll end the stream. Cheers, everyone. Big up, guys, and come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.